Hi, I'm Rebecca Yates, Product Manager for Telehandlers, and today we have our first roto telehandler for North America. This is the JCB 512-83R. Similar to our standard telehandlers for our nomenclature, a 5 means it's a JCB. The next two digits are going to be our max capacity, so 12,000 pounds. And the next two digits after the dash are going to be the max lift height at 83 feet, and R for roto. So this machine does a full 360-degree rotation, and it's got 4 scissor outriggers, 145 horsepower JCB EcoMax engine, a 2-speed Rexroth hydrostatic transmission. As we start here at the front of the machine with the standard carriage and forks. So there's a lot of different attachments available from JCB for your roto telehandler, and every attachment is RFID tagged. So the machine knows which attachment is on the front end, which communicates back to the display, which communicates to the operator where they are within that capacity. This attachment is our carriage and forks, and it's the JCB standard Q-fit, so continuing in that design. It's manually exchanged for different attachments, but it's super easy. Push down on the lever, set the attachment down, and switch it with a new attachment. The 512-83R uses a 4-section boom, and we actually use 2 C channels. So just like our standard telehandler that uses the U shape with its bent and one piece of steel welded on the bottom, similar concept is this C channel. You can see it right here in each section is still curved, and then we weld just one seam. So at all times we're trying to reduce the number of welds, creating a really strong, robust boom that's going to be able to, take all of that pressure and those loads that you're going to be putting on it. The roto has 4 individual outriggers, and we use the scissor kind of outrigger, which cross over each other, and that's to get the strongest stability out of the machine. Now, you can actually individually function each outrigger. You can also sequence them. You can do 2 at a time, 3 at a time. If you were up against a building and wanted to only extend outriggers on one side of the machine. Now, to get the full capacity of the roto telehandler, the outriggers do need to be fully extended and fully deployed pressure on the ground to get that full capacity depending on what load chart that you're using. The other thing that it's good to remember is that as these outriggers are, this one has been extended, when we bring this in, the outrigger stops right here and we're able to go straight down with the outrigger. So the outrigger is not going to go any further beyond that width of the machine to keep it working in a single lane. So you've really got a lot of good benefits with the functions of the outrigger on the roto. The 512-83R is powered by a 145 horsepower JCB EcoMax engine. So that does mean it requires DEF, but it does not have a DPF filter. You can see here that all of our access to our filters and any of our fill points, easy to get to, so serviceability is going to be very easy. You'll also notice that we have a large commonality of parts. Because we're using the JCB engine and a lot of other common pieces, you're going to be able to keep your total cost of ownership low. This also uses a 2-speed hydrostatic Rexroth transmission. So you've got those 2 speeds to make sure that you can get in and around job sites with ease, with a max speed of 25 miles per hour. And still sticking on serviceability for a second, as it is easy to access everything, there also is a grease bank in order to make sure that the turntable for slewing is always serviced properly. As we work our way here to the rear of the machine, whenever we get around the back of the machine, we do always want to think about and talk about visibility. You always want to make sure that you can see all around the machine. So it has a lot of mirrors on the side and then in the back here and on the cab side. We also have optional camera kits that include a rear camera, as you can see here, as well as on the side, and there can also be a camera at the boom nose. So the operator can truly see all around the job site to make sure that they're very aware of everything that's happening around them. As we work down here, we've got dedicated impact points. So as the machine spins, this is potentially where if there is something in the way, it would hit here and not damage another part of the machine. Again, as we continue down, you've got your recovery hitch. You'll also notice on the roto, there's always steps or a ladder. So on every side, you're going to be able to access the machine for maybe there's an emergency or for service. You're always going to be able to get up and around on the machine. So you're going to see a couple different places where you may see some ladders. Now, as we've made our way around to the cab side of the roto telehandler, here for your daily checks, again on the operator side, so easy to do before you start your day, but you're able now, again at ground level, everything is all in one place. So we've got our hydraulic fill and your sight gauge, you have your diesel fill, your batteries, including your battery isolator, your def tank and fill, which again, just a note, it is a different color to try to make someone very aware that it is for def and not anything else. And then our air filter as well. So all of those daily service checks that you need to do before you get going with your day, all in one spot, easy to get to, just a quick check and you can be on your way. So now we're in the cab. And first thing I want you to notice is all the open space. This is the same cab as we use on our standard telehandlers, so you're going to be familiar. Everything's going to feel very familiar. So when we look at the controls, you'll have on our right joystick our boom up and down and our tilt and crowd. And then on our left joystick, the main functions are going to be telescope in and out and our slew left and right. Now one of the things I do want to point out on these joysticks, not going through every single control, but is the joystick lockout. So before the machine will recognize a joystick function, the operator is going to need to press this button just for a second and then engage in the boom functions. This is to make sure they don't accidentally hit a joystick when you didn't mean to. Here you can see on this keypad the outrigger controls, so you can individually do each outrigger as you want to do them controlled, and here are buttons to do that. Then as you move down, you've got our auto functions, auto deploy and auto retract, auto level. We've got our frame sway, axle lock, and our engine RPM. Now the control here behind it is going to be for our display, and we'll get to that in just a minute. And right behind the operator's elbow is going to be the slew lock. So usually used for transport, you want to make sure that the boom is locked in place. Otherwise, it will be up like this so the roto can spin all the way around. And now we'll look at the display. Now there's a lot of information on the display, and there's a lot of information available to you as the operator to make sure you understand all of the information. But as we look at this display, it includes our profile, what it's been set at. Here's our load management system, which would go from green, yellow, red. We know what attachment is included on the machine right now, and that's what will change dynamically. If you change the attachment, or if you change the outrigger position, or if you change the boom, that's going to tell the operator if they're working in a safe envelope. We've got our slew, so you can see right now that we're actually turned 33 degrees. You've got all of your boom positions, and actually this shows here in metric, but it's easy to change to imperial. And then in this lower area is each outrigger has its own display, so you can see, as we had shown, that the front outriggers are fully deployed and down, and our rear ones are fully retracted. And then right here in the center, you can see the level of the machine. So again, there's a lot of information available to the operator to make sure they're working in the right envelope. But it's also, once you get a little bit of time to sit in the machine and really understand the functions, it's very familiar for any operator to really get in and be able to work efficiently.